When we last talked, you mentioned that you were in corporate America. I mean, is it kind of scary for you though to leave the womb of being in corporate America, then jumping into something like being self-employed, and especially in the restaurant business?
It is. It is terrifying.
Welcome to Side Hustle Rules. My name is Lou Reyes. You're about to get an exclusive look behind the scenes as we dive into the world of Jorge Hernandez and Flying Pig Tacos. It's a thriving catering business that he launched just last year. Now, Jorge is going to reveal his secrets to success, and he's also going to share the tips and the tricks that have him on the brink of opening his first brick-and-mortar location. Now, they say most eateries don't make it past 5 years. But I think Jorge's going to defy those odds, and you're about to find out how. Meet Jorge Hernandez. You know, I think it was really good fortune to meet you and to be able to see you in action. And we were at a Spanish business to business event, and it was for contractors. And I saw you there, and I just knew that you were someone that I really wanted to introduce my audience to. So welcome, as I said.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate that. Just the time and able to chat and talk a little bit this morning. So thank you so much.
Yeah, well, no, thank you. So listen, why don't you, your business, as I said in the introduction, was Flying Pig Tacos. So why
Yes,
don't you tell us a little bit about what you do with Flying Pig Tacos?
absolutely. Flying Pig Tacos, actually, the main thing that we do is cooking experiences and catering. That's really where I'm finding my drive, and I really enjoy the cooking experiences. Are events that I do, whether it's at somebody's home or somebody's office, corporate events, where typically there are about 3 hour sessions where we take the time to cook together, hang out together, break bread together, talk about history, significance of the Mexican food that I learned, um, and be able to share some of those maybe family secrets that I may have or fun facts about the food. Also attaching some of these dishes to my upbringing when I was living in Mexico. A lot
Mhm.
of the recipes, almost all of them, they are my family's recipes. They are my mom's, my grandma's. In fact, I have two recipes that date back to before the Mexican Revolution that
Oh,
were my
wow.
grandma that she used to make. Yeah. So, I found the cooking experience are really fun. It works for all ages, and we can customize it. Not everybody has to cook if they don't want to. Some that they want, they can do it, and we get to really invest the time together. The catering, we also do some of that, basic catering that other caterers do, where we just bring food and we can, either put it there, be part of the serving staff if they want us to, or just bring the food for them. But it's also a good opportunity for them to try the food.
Good, good. Now your business is relatively new, isn't that true?
Yes, I've been working on this for over a year,
Hmm.
but I've been started operating in 2023 here and there, testing some things, seeing, meeting clients, gathering more recipes, and we went full force on September, and it's been actually the response has been pretty amazing. Just the time together with the people, they're really enjoying learning about my ethnicity, the dishes that I bring in. So it's
Hmm.
definitely very very exciting. So yeah, September is when we went full force.
So what made you decide to go ahead and start Flying Pig Tacos?
I've been so for the longest time I was trying to figure out something that really drove me and make me feel myself, that I could express myself, and a way to honor my dad as well with his art. And I started finding joy on cooking. But it wasn't not just the cooking; it was the interacting and the
Hmm.
hanging out with the group or whoever it is, and just sharing some fun facts about the food, right? Like
Hmm.
sharing about the Aztecs or sharing about my grandma or my mom. And I start finding out that through cooking, I'm not a chef. I don't call myself a chef or a cook. It's more like an
Yeah.
artist. It's just a way that I can
Wow.
express myself and honor my dad.
Hmm.
And the drive of having that moment with people and watching them have a great time walking away with an experience and a moment of they forgot everything around and we were just present on the moment. That's what made me wanted to do this.
Is starting a business though, and you're relatively new. I know you had mentioned to me prior to today, when we last talked, you mentioned that you were in corporate America. I mean, is it kind of scary for you though to leave the womb of being in corporate America, then jumping into something like being self-employed, and especially in the restaurant business?
It is terrifying. I
Mhm.
am not exaggerating that. I can feel for many people because we get so programmed to 8 to 5 or whatever shift you have
Mhm.
that there is somebody telling you what you need to do. And you have autonomy too, where you can develop some of these processes. I was a store manager for different retailers, and I
Mhm.
have to make my plans, business plans, etc., etc. I mean, you do grow that, but you still respond to somebody. There is somebody that you are responding, and as an entrepreneur and business owner,
Yeah.
you're it. You're the top. If something goes wrong, you're the one who's gonna own it. And yes, it's been definitely very, very scary. And I think ensuring that it's not just oh my gosh, I need to do something. I need to make a business. It's
Mhm.
more about finding that thing that drives you, that
Yeah.
makes you happy, that kind of balance that fear.
Tell us how you made that decision and what led up to that decision.
Absolutely. So when I started with the idea, it all started with I was in Mexico with my cousin, and he was asking me. We were driving around, and he asked me, "Hey man, are you hungry?" I said, "Man, I'm always hungry. Like, let's do this."
Yeah.
So we stopped in the middle of the street. There was this guy selling tacos, carnita tacos, and it took me on that moment, took me away, and it made me really remember when my dad used to take me. And it was just amazing for me, the smell, the sound, everything, obviously the flavor, the food.
Yeah.
um, so that's when the vision started. And I think, when to your question, that's to start this business. I started to create some solid vision. Where do I want to go? What do I want to do with this?
Mhm.
um, from there, I'm flying like at 10,000 feet, right? You're right up on the clouds, like on
Yeah.
close to the stars, and you're dreaming. And
Mhm.
this could be, and everything is fluffy, is pretty, and you have a concept, an idea of that, what it could be. So I think right after that, before jumping into anything, before buying any equipment, before doing anything, I start breaking down in paper what some of these ideas start looking like. Okay, wait.
Mhm.
So what my original thought was to create an university of taco, the
Uh-huh.
taco university, right? How do you eat tacos the right way and why, right? And then it started becoming all about the food. And so
Yeah.
that breaking down in paper what these ideas are and start making more concrete, I
Mhm.
start flying at a lower height.
Yeah.
Now I'm 2,000 feet, not as high as at 10,000. And so then once I figure that out, then I start putting it together into an actual business plan. What
Mhm.
is that going to look like? What is it really going to cost me to open this? What the staffing is going to look like once it grows? Because I want to be able, um, I don't want to be slave to this. The
Yeah.
point of being an entrepreneur is the ability to have some freedom, to be my own boss and
Yeah.
me decide how to operate. Versus, yeah, if I'm going to be an entrepreneur that I'm working 12 hours a day, Monday through Monday, that's not a life. And I
Yeah.
don't want my children to see that, to say, oh, if that's what it's going to be to have a business, I don't want to do that.
Mhm.
So taking that route of truly investing the time to plan and creating that business plan was
Mhm.
critical, because even once I decided to start operating, it was just plugging in the the pieces into place on the plan. Okay, now I know this. Now I know what it's gonna look like when I want to open a brick and mortar, because currently I don't have a brick and mortar
Yeah.
in purpose, because I know how economy is with, in general, even before the pandemic. Restaurant business is terrifying for people,
Mhm. Yeah.
because it's one of the rate of failure is very, very high. And I do believe, because anybody can cook. I feel like, if you
Mhm.
put the time into it, I can make a decent meal.
Yeah.
Is the operational part behind it, the moving parts that you need to ensure they're being taken care of, and that business plan was critical. And right now, as I'm growing, I don't have rent, I don't have electricity to pay for a brick and mortar. I have
Mhm.
a kitchen that I work out of that I can afford, that allows me to go and do these events. And I'm buying now collect. I want to say about 70% of the equipment that I really want to have, I've been
Mhm.
able to buy all through these events that I've been putting. And it's starting to become so much more the fluency of my cooking experiences, my events that I do is becoming much easier.
So, so you basically you're just is it? Am I hearing this right? You self financed? Is that what it is? So you didn't go out and you didn't borrow money. You're just using the income that you make from your events to fund your business.
Currently, I am, yes, in purpose.
Hmm.
Now I'm at a point that I'm starting to look at larger funding where I am going to go for the loans or grants or what's available for me as a brand new business, because now I have some traction.
I was thinking as you're saying this, though, one of the things that I really was am impressed by, many things I'm impressed by with you is, but you have a background in business, and you've understood processes and how to run a business, and I think that's one of the real advantages that you have with what you're doing now.
Absolutely, yeah. It's interesting because I work for major retailers, and one area that I really enjoy was operations and systems and processes efficiencies. I did clothing retail, and I work also for computer work for Banana Republic, and I work for Apple. And just on that piece, learning how to be most efficient is
Hmm.
really play is play a big part on how things are moving right now.
Hmm.
So yes, allowing myself to really be thoughtful and plan ahead. And even when I'm doing events right now, I have all my whiteboard set aside on the side next to me. I write down which order is going to follow, and it might sound very basic for some people. Some people forget to take that step.
Well, that's what I really admired about you. And I talked to a lot of business owners, and I mean, literally hundreds and hundreds of business owners. That's not an exaggeration whatsoever. And the thing that really impresses me that I know to be so important is number one is you have some management experience and you had some process, you understand processes. And then what you did is you planned. And then what you do is you keep your expenses low, which to me, those are three of the key things. And as you keep your expenses low and you're going at this slowly, you're learning as you go. Am I outlining this right? I mean, it seems to me like this is
Absolutely.
exactly
No,
what you're doing.
yes, you're right on point. And I think another thing too that was very key for me. I have my wife's cousin. She's a baker.
Hmm.
So she started by doing the small batches to neighbors, friends, and then started to build up a following. So by the time she opened that bakery, she already had a group of people looking for her. So it was
Yeah.
guaranteed that she was going to have some sales. I'm
So
literally
smart.
Yeah, I'm literally following those same steps. Instead of me hoping people are going to show, why don't I get them hooked first on the food, knowing who I am,
Hmm.
get sold on me and my whoever, as the cook, and my vision and what I want to share. So then they're just going to come because they already know what to expect
Yeah.
versus, and that's one of the reasons why I like so much catering and cooking experiences, because it's a guarantee from a business standpoint, it's a guarantee pay. You're not hoping like a festival, or if you
Hmm.
just open the door, see who's going to show today. You have bad weather, you're screwed. Like nobody's going to show up, right?
Let me close out the session here by asking you: could you give, if someone comes to you and says, Jorge, I'm thinking about starting a restaurant, or thinking about starting a catering business. Was there? I mean, we've already talked about some of the key things that are, I think, are making you successful. We didn't mention the passion, which is very obvious. It comes through. But what would you say? Is there anything that you would just say to them? I mean, just a few words. Say, hey, if you're going to do this, this is what I recommend.
Yes. don't rush. Take your time on planning. Be patient.
Mm.
Um, be prepared that we all know that a business is not going to go from 0 to 60 just in the first year. I mean, it's going to
Yep.
take some time, right?
Mm.
That's the reality. I mean, if it does, great. But the reality is every new business, especially the first year, people say, you're not profitable. So be patient, be thoughtful about when you and invest the time on your planning. You don't have to over plan, but take the time because that's gonna pay off. Absolutely. Yeah. And two, don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah. Yeah.
You be amazed on how many people, and again, I learned this from Apple as well. There's the head of retail. His name was Ron Johnson, and I love that man. I will work for that guy anytime. He's the one who made Target what it is today. Mm-hmm. And he's the one who taught me that. He said, "You will be surprised how much people are willing to want to help, and don't be afraid to ask questions and be humble about it." And I noticed, especially in Cleveland, and I love Cleveland so much, and that's one of the reasons. People are so willing to just want to help you and share information and just kind of pay back for somebody who's changed their life in the past. So don't be afraid to ask questions because you'll be surprised who'll be willing to help, who'll be willing to teach you that one thing that you were missing and take you to the next step.
Yeah, I'm gonna call that Jorge wisdom.
Thank you.
But I'm going to say this, and this is going to be kind of self-serving on my part, I suppose. But I say self-serving, but the truth is, like I said, I work with lots of business owners. I mean, literally hundreds. I own the chain of Business to Business magazine. So, yeah, I mean, for years I talk to people. I mean, hundreds every year. And what you're telling me, what you're saying is really, it's distilled down to what the secret is of being successful is all the things that you described. And I really hope folks will really pay attention to what you've offered to us here today. So I want to thank you so much, Jorge. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's amazing. Appreciate it. Come on.